Good afternoon. It's Monday. Your favorite girls are here. One ish Monday afternoon. Dream, do, done from process to progress. So we thank you so much for tuning in today. We always get caught up in the green room. So we really do start at one ish, but
We do.
we need to take a little time, sister time, as we get together today. So I'm going to let my co host greet you. I can't believe September is almost over, but you know what season it is. And.
Again,
I know. It seems like we just had our party. It seems like we just had your party.
I promise you though, I am feeling like that. Like, really, it's about to be 2022. Like, where did this year go? And it's like we've been in it, so it's not like we haven't been here, but it's just time is flying by us so quickly. So
It
quickly.
is. It is how to coach pulpit chick. We know that you have pulpit chick commitments coming up shortly, so I want to make sure you greet the family.
Not pulpit chick commitments. Not hello everyone. Yes, indeed. My sister is right. I do have some commitments that await me and some books to still read and squeeze in before class starts. But nonetheless, so happy to be with you all today. I hope that everyone has had a fabulous weekend, and we look forward to quickly diving into today's topic.
Yes, and shout out to Greta and Ladrine. Hey, Booze, how you doing? Thanks for hanging out with us. So, if you have your copy of Dream Do Done, your journal, then you can go on to it. Once again, those who were VIPs for Faithpreneur Weekend, you got your copy of the journal. You can go to our website, of course, so that you can order yours if you didn't get it yet. But we're not going to talk about you. We just going to pray for you, right? So, in the journal today is a quote from Serena. And the quote is, the greater your struggle, the greater your success. Ooh, Papa Chick, you laid it down right there. And
Listen.
I'm going to let you talk about that right there.
I probably, as I'm shaking my head at the quote, I probably wrote it and still was shaking my head because it doesn't make sense that you have to struggle in order for your reward to become success. But I don't want to get too churchy. However, you think about picking up your cross, and we know that picking up a cross is not easy at all in order to get your crown. But also at the same time, looking at the functionality of perhaps a bow and arrow. And so we know that the further you pull it back, the further that there's resistance. We know that you're going to hear it crack and, crackle. It may not break, but it's going to, have some resistance to it. And the further you pull it back, the further it will go forward and obviously propel towards success. So it's not a quote that I like. Let me just be honest. I don't like it. I don't like the struggle. I'm keeping it all the way official. I try to live a life that I do right by people. I don't have any enemies on the street. And then the more you still try to do right, the more stuff that comes up against you, but it's the equivalent of, no weapon formed against you will prosper. And we know that the weapon will form. And so therefore we know that the struggle is real. There will be a struggle, but I guess the sweet victory is that there will be success. So I guess I kind of sort of like the quote, but I don't like the process. Can I just say that part? I don't like the process.
Well, we keep it 100, as the kids would say here on the show. And in the book, we even speak to that because we say overcoming obstacles. You may have experienced many setbacks, hurdles, and obstacles along this journey, but the month of new beginnings is here. What behaviors, mindsets, habits, and limiting beliefs do you need to let go of to continue your journey and move into your new season? So this really can apply to the fact that we're ending the third quarter. We're getting ready to go into the last quarter of the year. So everything that's done, it's done. So you can make a decision. And Tamara, you want to read the thought of gratitude on that page as well?
Sure. Greatness is waiting to give birth in your life. For those in the back of the room or hard of hearing, get out of your own way. Say it again for the people in the back.
In the back. Say it for Sister Watermelon and Brother Cantaloupe.
That's right. But this quote brings to mind, we're always moving forward. We're always doing. Just because you're following your dreams and doing what you love does not mean that you will not have obstacles, that you will not have challenges. A lot of time we look at people like, oh my goodness, they're living their dream like their lives are perfect, but there are always going to be obstacles and challenges. It's how you deal with them that make the difference. And so I tell people all the time, just because I'm following my dreams doesn't mean I don't have real life happening to me every single day. But you do get this resolve, and you do get through the challenges quicker and easier when you start looking at it as your track record. Look what I've been through last year. Okay, I'm going to use that to help me get over what's going on this year. And it doesn't mean stop and just let things happen to you. It means keep moving forward, but change those habits and behaviors and how you deal with it. And the challenges won't seem so high. They won't seem so long. They won't seem so deep because you have that track record and that faith to keep carrying you through.
That needs a bomb drop. But I want to give the Pulpa Chick a chance to share before she has to do Pulpa Chick business. But this is just appropriate. I think it's always at that ending of the third quarter that you have a lot of evaluation to do, because it seems like the year is just flying by. There's still enough time in 2021 to move from dreaming to doing to getting it done. Over to you, Serena.
Well, Tamara, you made a wonderful point, and you said that when you are going through, in so many words, don't just stop. I mean, and I am the type, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna call someone and tell them what's happening in my life. I'm gonna tell somebody else. I'm gonna stand like this, like what's happening to me? Why, Lord, why? But nonetheless, my father says it best: when you're going through hell, keep running, keep going. Go as quickly as you possibly can in order to get to the other side. So if you're like me and you feel like you've been going through it, raise your hand. I'm with you. But the struggle will create greater success. And I mean, I have stories for days. But nonetheless, we've still been kept. And so I'm so thankful for my sister friends who hold me up and don't let me fall, and they continue to push me. And I have a whole community of people who are standing behind me. And I'm sure, hopefully, you all have the same type of people in your life that's going to push you even when you feel like giving up and feel like that you can't do the struggle. Listen, get out the struggle as quickly as possible so that we can celebrate your victory and success. So that's all I got to say. Off to my systematic theology class. Y'all pray my strength in the Lord. I just wrote that quote just because my daddy, Les Brown. I don't know.
Because your daddy, Les Brown, that's why you wrote it because you know it's true.
Just writing stuff down, just trying to be a good kid, I love you all. Have a wonderful afternoon.
We love you too, Serena, and continue to go shine. Let the Lord use you. Let the Lord use you. Oh my goodness. So
I wish we could share that photo she shared with us where she had like 12 different Bibles on the table while she's going through her assignment. It gets real for real.
For real. You know what? I should show that photo so folks can see that she not playing in these streets. She really doing the studying, right? Because I looked at her like, woo, yeah, that's about the time, right? Look, yeah. Jason's like, share it. I want to see. Hey, my brother. Oh my goodness. But I'm glad we talked about that, because I was even having a moment of just like, and then that's when I know I just got to pray and be still. And then I went out to do a 5K with my hubby because I needed some vitamin D. And truth be told, there's been a lot going on. So I was a little off my regular routine. But, it's just like riding a bike. Once you do it and you do it often, you don't forget in your muscle memory, right? Because you need that. For me, that's one of the best forms of mental health protection.
Yeah.
Be able to go out, move, do some form of exercise, get clean, fresh air, breathe in, turning on my gospel playlist. Everybody knows me by my gospel playlist. We're going to add that information because there's always a way to monetize things. We have our Spotify, but I'm not getting paid off of that yet. So we got to figure that out, Jason, how we get paid. But it's important for us to have those outlets when you are going, and we're talking about going through. How do you keep pushing? So here's a quick glimpse, just because Jason being nosy. That's all the work she doing. That's all the studying she got going on. So it's real out here, right? When we do this work, and that while we are mothers, while we are businesswomen, and she's now going to seminary, we just show that dreaming, doing, and getting it done requires you to be able to do multiple things well.
Yeah.
Now, will everything get the same amount of attention at the same time? Not necessarily, because then we'll look crazy doing all that juggling. But you work to find the harmony and the peace in what it is that you're doing, and then show up in the best form that you can,
Yes.
because
And
that's where you produce results. Mhm.
absolutely. And just really getting people to really understand, sometimes you might think you're going crazy in your individual situation because you're living your dreams, you're pushing, you're doing everything you hear on these Monday calls and more, but it seems like you're still having challenges. And the truth of the matter is, no one said that you would never have the challenges. Just because we're doing this thing, like I said, just being transparent, you're going to have obstacles, you're going to have challenges along the way, but you still keep following your dreams and pushing and starting that business. Just because you start a business, you become an entrepreneur, doesn't mean that your life is perfect. You're
Exactly.
still going to experience those real life moments, and you really have to learn to deal with all of it and still keep it pushing. I have to tell my children that all the time. Like, just because you get to this next level of success doesn't mean there won't be new challenges that are presented to you.
Absolutely. Jason said it's real in these
Real in these
gospel
gospel
streets. It definitely is. It definitely is. And that's how you know you're growing.
Yeah.
And I think when we just reframe how we look at our experiences, it allows us to see, like, wow, I wouldn't have handled that the same way 5 years ago, 2 years ago,
Mhm.
maybe even 2 months ago. And you learn, like, what can I learn from this situation? What am I seeing differently? Because for those of us of faith, when we stop is where God can begin. Like, when we really just let it go and say, let go, let God, you've done all that you can do, let God do the rest. That's a challenge. So, not everybody might be of the same persuasion to believe that God is real, but we're unapologetic about our faith. And we understand when we start getting into those frustration moments, maybe it's the ego. Maybe we think we're the ones that has to do it all. And sometimes it's beyond your capacity, and that's where you turn it over. So good ideas can be birthed as God ideas. And that's where
Yeah.
he gives the increase and he gives the supply. Look, the pulpit chick ran off on me. I did not mean to be bringing the word.
I'm like,
You
look, like,
already
where
brought a
is the
sermon.
plate? Like, where is the plate today?
Oh my goodness, but I'm excited about it. And I'm going to do a sneak peek. See, this is Getting Ready to Be Unleashed. This is volume 1 of the process and methodology for faithpreneurs. But you got to start doing and pulling together. You don't think I've had obstacles? I think that's probably why I've had all the attacks I've had, because there's so much stuff getting ready to be birthed for our community. You're doing teaching people how to be an actress in their or actor in their own life. Serena's finishing off doing her degree, her MDiv. So of course you're going to have all these different obstacles and interruptions, because it's to help others. It's not about you, but what's happening through you. So, Jay said you said something there. Yes, my brother, it look good, right? Yeah, yeah. Wait till you see the content inside. So, and that's just volume 1. So God is doing what he does. We have to show up and do our work. And our journal is an opportunity for you to just track it. Somebody said something that was so wonderful about our journal, Tamra, that it allowed them a chance to really start to map out
Yeah.
what they were focused on. Because of the way we laid the journal out, they can really look at it and say, okay, I can use this portion of the journal, and you can't see it all here. I'll click on it and you'll get a little preview of what's inside. But it allows you to do some doodling, because some people like to doodle. They have just inspiration and ideas, and it's not totally formulated yet. So it gives them a chance to write down those ideas, what you learn. That reflection is so important. So you can really look and see, what did I learn this week? What am I thankful for? Write down little notes. This week I read. Did you grab a new book? Did you invest in something new and different? Right. So that gives you a chance for you to really go through the process. And we did a good job, Tamra. Like, every time I look at our book, I'm like, hey, this wasn't too shabby, Jesus.
The tagline on our show is from process to progress. And so the journal really helps with your process. If you're a doodler, if you're thinking of other ideas, but you can't do it right now, jot it down. So when you come back through this the second time, you could do it then. Not everything is meant to be done right now. So it really deals with your process. And so it gives you that individual kind of, it caters to you and what your process is. And that's why I really like it, because it's so many different ways that we think differently, we get inspiration differently, and we act differently. But at the same time, it allows you to track what's going on in your process. And that's what I really, really love about it.
Absolutely. And we're not just being biased. I mean, we have the
Oh no, oh no.
testimonials. We have the testimonials to prove it. But what I really want to underscore is the fact that we did this in real time to demonstrate, right? Our social proof is in how we've shown up consistently for 3 seasons. Can you believe that? Like every time I say it, I'm like 3 seasons that we
About
have.
to be foe.
About to be, about to be
About to be foe.
and we've shown you this accountability podcast is here to remind you of what's inside of you. We're not just showing you things because we want to brag or share. It's examples. If we could do it, you could do it. And you've
Absolutely.
watched us do it. You watched us do it through trauma. We've all had deaths in our lives throughout the seasons of the show where we pushed ourselves to still come on, to still be a part, to hold each other up. You saw us launch events and programs. I mean, Dream Do Done has been a part of Faithpreneur Weekend. You know, it's
Look, you saw
Tamara.
a business, Serena's business go from ground zero to
Zero.
where it is. You know, the product launches, we've done it all in real time. Even when we had to dial it back and say, you know what, this happened last week, I got to change and do it this week. There have been live lessons on the show. If you go back to season 1, I guarantee you'll see everything we're talking about.
And that's the beauty of the masterclasses that we're working on and providing all of the resources. So we package this and give you that system and that process. It's from process to progress. You don't get here without actually doing. So it was the thought, it was idea. Tamara made the mistake of saying something to me. You know, I'm the one that jumped. Tamara's the one that will start it. And then Serena's like, wait, what? I'm like, look, let's get on and go. Let's go. I didn't know what we were doing. We were using Zoom to start the show. Now we're broadcasting and simulcasting in multiple outlets. And because D. Jason Hodge is on here, you know, he's been pushing for us to be on Clubhouse too. So who knows, he might simulcast it on Clubhouse as well. But that is the power of growth. So if you don't think about anything else today, just really reflect on where you are. Pick up your copy of the journal so you can map out your 4th quarter. Be intentional. We can't control the things that happen to us, but we can control our responses. Be intentional so that the things that you've been working on, desiring to do, thinking about, praying on, actually just get started and do it. All right. Jason was like, yep. And Greta Ladrine, we're going to be doing a Q&A session in our group tomorrow night. I'm doing a special training for my community because that's one of the other things, Tamara. I'm in so many different places, serving so many different people. I'm dialing it back so that my folks can have my attention so that I can, you know what's needed and support them even bigger as we are planning out for the end of this year in 2020. But be encouraged wherever you are today on this 27th day of September, the last Monday in this month. Recalibrate, focus, keep going. If you're going through what Serena Daddy say, if you're going through hell, keep going. So continue to move on. Grab your copy of the journal. Any last words, Tamara?
Absolutely not. I think we've covered it today. I appreciate you all hanging in there and growing with us over these 3 seasons. There is more to come. And the thing that I really want you to pick up on today is that consistency through whatever real life, that consistency and keep showing up. You've seen a live example here on Dream Do Done.
Absolutely. And 8:30 tomorrow, Ladrine. And Jason said the drill down is where it's at. Oh, yes. Nurturing what's in your hands. Absolutely. Well, we love you all. Thank you for being here and tuning in. We wouldn't have a show if we didn't have people following and listening. So share it with a friend and we'll see you 1-ish next Monday. Bye-bye, everyone.
Take care.